Hello everyone, MB here, and welcome back to a new video. In this one I'd like to take a look at some new Ceruledge decks from the set Surging Sparks, well, hopefully, and these lists will of course be from Japan. So as a fair warning for this video, Surging Sparks is our next English set, and it is made up of two sets, Paradise Dragona, which has already been fully revealed, and Supercharged Breaker. Now, due to the sheer volume of content from both sets, it might mean that Ceruledge and Sylvan EX and basically all the contents of those decks might get delayed until the set after, though this is just speculation for now, and early testing is always appreciated, so just something to bear in mind in the background as we go through these. I'll say the same for Sylveon as well if I do a video talking about Sylveon. But it's just because Sylveon and Ceruledge were battle decks in Japan. They weren't actually part of Paradise Dragona. So there is a chance that they get delayed, basically, in the TCG. But yeah, some new cards to take a look at here, and I'm aware that Noctowl is not a new card, but did come around in Stellar Crown. But I decided to keep it around because I still think Noctowl could honestly be a very good partner for Ceruledge. None of the lists in this video feature Noctowl, however, but I still think, if you're playing a Terra Pokemon, it's worth considering at the very least at some point. Two trainer cards, especially when A-specs like this new one, Perfect Mixer, exist, I definitely think Noctowl is a worthy consideration, and you could absolutely find deck space for it with Ceruledge. So Ceruledge itself, finally get to talk about the big man. 270 HP, Fire-type, Terra-type Pokemon, weak to water, which sucks a bit actually because Palkia is supposed to be really good now. Does have the attack Abyssal Flame, which for a single Fire Energy does 30 base, and then 20 more damage for each energy card in your discard pile, which is your main attack. You do have Amethyst Rage, which for a Psychic Metal Fire does 280 damage, but you have to discard one energy from this Pokemon. One or two of these lists in this video will feature a way to actually attack with Amethyst Rage, but typically Abyssal Flame is going to be your sort of main attack for this deck. So yeah. Also a side partner for one of the lists is this Azumarill, which is also from the Ceruledge deck. Has the ability Twinkling Soap that says double-edged used by this Pokemon costs Psychic, so just one Psychic energy, if you have any Terra Pokemon in play. And then double edge for 4 Psychic, which of course becomes 1 Psychic if you have a Ceruledge in play, just does 230 and then 50 to itself. So a very strong single prize option, if you have a Ceruledge already in play. And then just to go over the A-spec again, it allows you to search your deck for up to 5 cards and discard them, which 9 times out of 10 is probably just going to be basic energy. So yeah, very, very strong A-spec to pair it with this Pokemon. But yeah, this first list we can take a look at here is fairly simple. One thing I do like about this is that compared to at least a lot of the other Ceruledge lists, is that it's actually playing Legacy Energy A-spec, which is interesting. So basically just turn one of your Ceruledges, or maybe even a Cleffa, if you decide to start the game with that, into a 1-prize Pokemon or a no-prize Pokemon, respectively. So Legacy Energy is an interesting choice. Also playing the Drillbur, which allows you to, when you bench it, search your deck for 3 energy and discard them, although it might be limited to fighting energy from what I remember. So Drillbur is an interesting choice, but if it does mean that you have to play fighting energy, then I'm not like the world's biggest fan of it. But, at the end of the day, it's not the worst option. Legacy Energy also does actually mean that you might... Oh, wait, is Legacy... Yeah, Legacy Energy is Luminous Energy, isn't it? It provides any type of energy, but only one at a time. So Legacy Energy would also kind of help you pay for the second attack, but that's also like a bit of a stretch because, you only have one in the deck and everything. But, well, no, actually, you wouldn't be able to pay for it because you'd still need the metal or psychic from somewhere. Oh, well, never mind. Never mind. Forget my rambling nonsense. But yeah, still a cool list overall, fairly straightforward and consistent. 4 Rescue Stretcher from the new, not Rescue Stretcher, but Night Stretcher, I think it's called, from Shrouded Fable. So definitely some interesting choices here. 4 Research, 2 Carmine, 1 Iono. Personally would bump that up to 2, but that's just my opinion for a side. Also, 3 Pokemon Catcher is a bit suspicious. I would maybe say 2 Pokemon Catcher or 1 Counter Catcher, because Clef is probably going to be used and then go down at some point, so... I would definitely say Counter Capture was worth it in this deck. But yeah, interesting list overall. Next up, those we have a one featuring Spiritomb. No Drillbur or Cleffa to be seen, but a bit of an interesting mix-up here because we also have less research. So just 1 copy of Professor's Research, but then also 4 copies of Carmine, which I'm like, Carmine's interesting. Discard your hand, draw 5, but you can play it going first. And this list is playing 18 basic Pharyngy, so I guess maybe it is worth it in some instances. Also, not really playing any switching outs aside from the Jet Energy, which is also a decision, I guess. I suppose all your retreat cost is relatively low. Like, Ceruledge itself has 2 retreats, but everything else only has 1. So I guess Jet Energy does serve quite the purpose there. Not more Buddy Buddy Poffins, which I find quite surprising as well, to be honest. 2 Irida is interesting, putting a focus on getting Greninja out. I do respect that. This list is also playing Counter Catcher, which I love. Also playing Boss's Orders, which I love. The HQ Stadium that increases basic attack costs by 1 colors is interesting to see. I wonder if this is due to like the rise in Raging Bolt over in Japan and such, but interesting to see. And you may as well play Stadiums right to take out Area Zero, so yeah, kind of makes sense. But an interesting list overall, I would say. Not my favorite, but still interesting. Then we see a 1 playing no special energy, but also running Fezan and 4 trekking shoes. So a bit of a mix up again, going back to higher research counts. But yeah, I quite like the idea of Fezan in this deck because I do think 270 HP, although it is kind of a lot, you might be KO'd quite frequently, especially against Palkia. I mean, I'm not sure if you can beat Palkia with this deck, but you might be able to, take out their Palkia Vs earlier on or something. But yeah, I do think Fezandipity is worth it. 4 trekking shoes, probably worth it, to be fair. Do love Palpad, always love to see Palpad in decks. But yeah, I think the big killer with this deck is 20 basic Pharyngy. Probably means you'll have some games where your hands are just like, what on earth is this hand? It's going to be like 6 Pharyngy, 1 Greninja, or actually, that's not even that bad. 6 Pharyngy, 1 Fezandipity, or something, that's going to be terrible. But aside from that, it seems like a pretty fun list overall. Just got to be careful with what you're doing, really. Then we have the one with Azumarill in. It's only a 2-1 line, but I still thought it was worth featuring, so I thought it was quite funny. With the Luminous Energy, or just even a basic Psych Energy, you will be able to do the 230. Although, having said that, this list is capable of actually attacking with a Ceruledge's Amethyst Rage. Now, if you made room for the new Crispin card, you could also, in theory, use Crispin to accelerate a fire or a Psychic Energy from your deck, and then attach one from the hand previous turn, yes, and then attach a Luminous Energy in whatever order, I guess. So it would be possible to get it going, but yeah, I guess that's a wee bit unreliable, so maybe it's not worth it. But still, it's a nice option to consider, really. And Azumarill is also doing a ton of damage for 1 Psychic Energy, so yeah, fun options overall. But of course, Azumarill is just a bit of a meme option, but it does give this deck a single prize attacker at the very least, which might be sorely lacking really from these previous lists. But yeah, seems like a pretty fun option overall. And yeah, thank you for watching. There's not too much more to say about Ceruledge. I think Sylveon's a bit more interesting in my opinion, but Turbo Ceruledge is more my kind of deck, to be honest. But yeah, let me know what you think about Ceruledge decks down below. Do you think it'll be in the next set? And will you be playing it yourself? But yeah, as always, thank you for watching.